All right, y'all. Let's call this part two, I suppose. So I've been watching a lot of videos lately, just like everybody else, right? And some of the videos that stuck out to me are showing a trend that I think is worth talking about above and beyond the norm. And that is that lately I feel like I've been watching a lot of videos with just an completely uncalled for amount of violence and direct threats and things being used to get the point across. And for that matter, can we just lump in the use of children, both attending controversial protests or events and or attacking the opponent's children in that mess as well? So some I guess some examples that we've been seeing lately, and I'll try to cover both sides. It's no mystery that I'm a conservative, coming from my ministry page as well. But just watching some of the aftermath of the Republican National Convention and the mobs that were waiting in the streets just to catch attendees passing by and just demanding that they follow suit, that they say certain cheers, that they ask completely one-sided and loaded questions, attacking families, attacking even little kids who really were not taking part in anything. Mix that with the fact that I have been watching videos where people bring their kids to events that they know is going to be more than just a peaceful protest. And let me be clear, I'm 100,000% in support of showing kids the legal process, showing kids the political process, letting them get some experience about what it's like to campaign or show support or whatever else like that. That's fine, because almost always those events are peaceful life experiences, right? But it has become a point where people are going into these things predetermined to cause a riot or disruption or express some kind of anger or violence towards somebody else. And like I said, I'll try to play both sides. I'm equally as annoyed or frustrated by some of the conservative leaning things, such as being anti-mask wearing, but then going to an event that's super public, super non-social distancing and everything else just to make a point, and then dragging your kids along to help make that point, and maybe even aggressively so. Like, that's idiotic. So you know what they call that in my world? I work in the domestic violence field. You know what we call that in my world? Abuse. We call that using abusive tactics to gain power and control over others through manipulation, through threat, through violence. It's abuse. That makes you a perpetrator of abusive behavior toward others. It's nonsense. How about we just change the narrative? How about we stop showing up to events, campaign gatherings, peaceful protests? How about we just stop showing up to these things predetermined to create violence and create threat and manipulation to get our way? How about we just stop that? How about we stop assaulting and attacking families, innocent people, children? For goodness sakes, can we leave children out of it completely? Stop taking your kids to events that you know are going to get riled up, that you know are controversial, that you know could put them in harm's way. That's ridiculous. Be a better parent. Don't take your kids out to put them in danger intentionally when you know that it's a loaded situation. I mean, seriously, I feel like it's ridiculous that we're even having these conversations anymore, that you need somebody like me every once in a while to show up on social media or wherever else and just speak the truth. How about we just stop? Stop with the ridiculousness. Oh, And, like while we're at it, how about we just tag this in, throw a little add on, a little extra for you tonight? Anybody else noticed how the predominant facilitators of all of the aggression and violence and manipulation and abusive tactics tend to not have anything to do with the party at hand? You ever notice how there's always these outliers that when it's a maybe a conservative feature, that it's a bunch of idiots, extremists or whatever, who are piling on and approaching it from a stupid angle? You ever notice how often the movements centered around BLM and some of the police brutality, or the supposed police brutality, or however you want to look at it, you ever notice how often it's a bunch of crazed, psychotic white people dressed in war paint and masks, like they're trying to reenact the Purge movies, all in order to stand up for something that they don't understand, they don't get, they didn't have anything to do with prior, but today it's an opportunity to go get out in the streets and act like an idiot. Who wants those people standing up for your cause? I know I don't. I don't care if you're on my side or the other side of any particular argument. How about we just not have those idiots represent us on either side? It's not helpful, it's not productive, it's not bringing us closer, it's not working out any negotiation. There is absolutely no love in the process. So, like I said, maybe this is part 2 of the first video. Let's all get back to, let's start with love. Everything else can come after that. Everything else will be more productive after that. Love first, and why not this hashtag, stop being an abuser.